Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about one of the specs I think is a real up-and-comer. We'll see what Axe thinks. I'm joined by Axe today.
Hello.
Hello. We're going to be talking about the Protection Warrior in patch 9.0.5 because there's a couple of pretty nice changes coming in. And Axe, thank you as well for providing the dungeon footage that we've got in the background here. So you have been playing Vengeance tank this tier, right?
Yeah.
You're starting to gear up the warrior potentially for certainly next tier 9.1, depending on what the balance changes are then. But yeah, let's actually talk about some of the changes. The first one I want to look at. So I think it's best to cover this first so people know why you're kind of jumping and charging around the place in the video. What's going on with the Reprisal legendary?
So in patch 9.05, Reprisal got a complete rework. It basically, every time you use Intercept or Charge, you gain a charge of shield block. It's not a full charge of shield block, you only gain 4 seconds of shield block, but it all adds up. And obviously that just gives you the chance to block all physical attacks made against your character. So
yeah, for sure.
You're going to see me either intervening somebody who's in melee range, or you'll see me leaping out, charging back in, stunning an enemy, walking out, charging back in. You'll just see me moving around a lot, just trying to get these charges off.
Yeah. It's interesting. So how long does a shield block normally last?
So when you use shield block, it lasts for 6 seconds.
Okay, right. So getting 4 seconds from Reprisal, it's almost as good. That's pretty strong.
It's pretty significant. I mean, before, when it was originally changed on the PTR, they changed it to that it was 6 seconds, and it was found to be completely broken and overpowered. You get 100% uptime on shield block. And when they said they was going to make the change to 4 seconds, but when the patch came out, it was actually 6 seconds. So I found myself, as I picked up Reprisal, jumping into the world boss, my shield block was just not down. It was always up.
Yeah, that is nuts. I mean, I think it's a super fun legendary, right? Even if you're mostly just using it very simply, like charging into a pull in Mythic Plus, just starting things off. You're starting off with shield block for 4 seconds on that pull. You've got that revenge proc. You got 20 rage. That's pretty awesome. Or like, even if you like intervene out and then charge back in, you've just got 8 seconds of shield block because it does stack, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it stacks, right?
Yeah, no, the duration just goes up and up and up. The more you can proc it, it'll go to a maximum of 20 seconds. But if you can get it to 20 seconds, it will just be there. It ticks down.
But that's insane. Like you could obviously you'd mulch one of the revenge procs if you intervened out and charged back in, but you're still getting 40 rage and 8 seconds of shield block. Like that is super good. So what's in terms of? So it's super cool. We've explained what it does, but how good are people thinking it is? Like, is this the go-to now for Mythic Plus? Is it the go-to for raiding? Or is it a bit too awkward to use? What's the thought?
Oh, no, it's definitely the go-to. It's 100% the best legendary you can get as a pro warrior.
And just all
Nothing
content.
even comes close to it. The wall is still quite decent, and I think that will become the secondary. Legendary. Obviously, that's the one that gives you the cooldown reduction on your shield wall. Obviously, if you combine that with anger management, which is the go-to talent at the moment too, you're looking at potentially a 1 minute, 1.5 minute cooldown on your shield wall as well.
So this legendary is just pretty much straight up broken good, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing negative about it, because obviously in a mythic environment, you're not going to be 100% tanking the mobs all the time anyway. You are going to be wanting to move away you're going to have gaps in your mitigation regardless.
For sure.
You fill that in with a stun or a leap just to get that extra mitigation from your shield block back. Then you've got extra rage to spend on Ignore Pain, because you don't need to use it to block, and you don't need to use it to revenge because you've got the free revenge proc as it is. So you can just put an Ignore Pain up.
Very true. Yeah. Okay. The other big thing to talk about, which I assume people have probably noticed in the footage so far as well, is the Conqueror's Banner rework. Do you want to tell the folks what happened to Conqueror's Banner? Then we'll talk about whether it's good or not.
So pre-patch, Conqueror's Banner, it wasn't very good. It used to give you critical strike rating to you and 2 other members within 20 yards of the banner. You'd place the banner on the ground and it would be there for the duration. They've scrapped that completely now.
Yeah.
It now places the banner on your character, and the 2 closest people to you at the time, they gain a 400 mastery buff, which lasts for 20 seconds. You gain 30% increased movement speed, and you cannot have your movement speed reduced below 100%. So essentially, you can't be slowed. So it's great for kiting as well. 400 mastery, that's critical block for me. That means I can block a shitload of attacks.
That's true.
It's like having shield block up. It's like having a miniature shield wall up. It just is fantastic. And not to mention, you'll have a look at the damage meters. We're planning it around people's cooldowns.
Yeah.
The druid in the footage, Crossfire, he was getting 128k Star Surge procs on Ymir, the first boss. It was Ingvar, sorry, the first boss. It was crazy.
Yeah, with the damage boost section. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
it's
insane.
Incredible how much damage it gives. So you'll see me sort of position myself between two relevant party people just before I pop the banner. I'll pop the banner and then charge in at some point.
Yeah. So it's kind of sick. So it does have a personal benefit for the warrior. So obviously the warrior gets the 400 mastery, and for prot that's crit block. It also, I think, is 4 rage per second as well, so that sort of fuels into some active mitigation too. It's not too bad. Definitely the big appeal though, I'm going to put up a graphic here as well, which is basically the DPS gain for every different spec in the game when they get buffed by that banner in some ranking. So I can't remember who actually made this, but I think I saw it on Twitter. But it made by Max, #7957 on Discord. Shout out to that guy, because this is such an awesome tool. And everyone you can see this, and you can see how much damage that all the different specs gain. And you're able to give that to 2 different people. Interesting enough, the highest gain overall is actually Ret Paladins in Kyrian. It gives them 4% DPS, which is insane. And then obviously other good specs that scale off of mastery, pretty straightforward. Moonkin, really strong. Fire Mage, Shadow Priest and Night Fae, Affliction Warlocks. Like, those are the specs that really stand out. I'm curious, like, do you follow some of the like world first tanks and stuff? Are they getting prot warriors prepped for?
I think all of them are. They were using them this tier.
That's true.
I think it just makes sense with the changes and how much of a benefit it's going to be. How much?
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we didn't maybe see 2 prot warriors.
Yeah, that could happen.
I think that could happen. I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to work with the meta now, because obviously with the Windwalker changes.
Yeah, that's the question.
So that might mean we're going to have to stick with Brewmasters, because obviously people don't like Mistweavers, and it's a bit of a taboo.
I mean, obviously we don't. These are the 9.0.5 changes. We don't know what the 9.1 changes will be. I mean, if they brought a new raid out right now, I would suspect it probably would be Prot Warrior Brewmaster Monk, would be my guess.
Yeah.
And they just kind of suck it up and bring a havoc. I actually just did a video earlier, actually, with Dawn, which I'm not sure which one I'll publish first. But we were talking about the havoc changes, because they got some nice buffs as well, so they're not too bad. But yeah, that's interesting. So Prot Warrior, it's looking really, really good. For Mythic Plus, are they looking to run Prot Warriors as well? Is that a thing?
That's something I'm not really clued in on at the moment, mate.
Okay, fair enough.
They're still running Vengeance Demon Hunters. The setup really hasn't changed much, because they're running a lot of mages. With that aspect, they need that damage buff.
That's true. 5%, damage buff from Chaos Brand. Interesting, yeah. I would say certainly. Oh, one thing we didn't mention, but they did buff just Prot Warrior damage just generally by 10%, and Thunderclap by another 10% as well in the patch in 9.0.5. So that's nice too. Certainly, I say if you have been playing Prot in Keys, I know it's been relatively unpopular for Mythic Plus so far. Definitely, it's looking better now in the patch.
Yeah, it feels better too.
And actually, one thing to point out, this is the background footage is like a level 15 dungeon, right?
Yeah.
You're super under-geared and you're able to tank it just fine, yeah?
Yeah, no, when you've got shield block up, that's it. You don't take any damage. When you notice the gaps in my mitigation, my health just spikes down. But I was talking to Ymira, who's one of our resto shamans.
Yeah.
I asked her what her opinion was healing me after the first 14 that we did, and she said, no, it just feels like I'm healing you on your Vengeance Demon Hunter. You take some chunks of damage sometimes, but the damage just seems very, very smooth, because I've got that shield block up so much. It makes all the difference. I was worried going into it that I was going to get completely battered, but after the first pull, it just felt right. You know, the shield blocks up all the time. You don't take any damage, and you've got so much rage to cast Ignore Pain.
Yeah, and for people watching, just so they know, I might try pop it up because it's at the end of the video. I don't know if we got that far, but you're item level 186 doing this plus 15. 186. Yeah. That's like almost 40 item levels, like 30, 35 below your Vengeance Demon Hunter. That's kind of nuts, and it still works.
And the difference between that and a Brewmaster, for example, a Brewmaster would never be able to tank that dungeon because you'd be in red stagger the entire time, and you would only have about maybe 45k HP, so your HP would drop so quick with that red stagger you wouldn't be able to last a single pack.
So you have right now, like at level 60, you've played obviously Prot Warrior, Vengeance Demon Hunter, Brewmaster Monk. Is it just those three?
Blood DK.
Oh, Blood DK as well. Okay, so out of those 4 specs, like how would you rank them? How would you rank Prot Warrior now after 9.0.5?
Oh, it's the best.
The best. Okay, I didn't expect you to say. I thought you were going to stick with Vengeance. Do you think Prot's the best?
I love Vengeance too. I love the mobility you've got as Vengeance, and I love the amount of mitigation it's got too with Firebrand and Fell Devastation. Obviously there was a change to Fell Devastation in this past patch. They switched Fell Defender out so that it now reduced the cooldown of Fell Defender as opposed to Firebrand by 11 seconds with the conduit that I have for it. It's not really made much of a difference, if I'm going to be honest. Firebrand is up just as often as it was, but now you have Fell Defender. You've got Fell Devastation 10 seconds earlier every single time. So there's basically no gaps in your mitigation, and it's made a huge difference to Stone Legion Generals, which we're progressing on at the moment. And I think due to the changes of Reprisal, it's very much in line with how I play the Vengeance Demon Hunter. You know, I use my mitigation, I move out. I get a bit of a break while my Demon Spikes come back up or my Firebrand comes back up, and then I go back in, do a bit more damage, and the Warrior plays exactly the same way. And the other tanks, they can't do that. They don't have the mobility. They don't have. I mean, Monk's got mobility, but the whole point of Stagger is the fact that you're there to soak the damage, and it doesn't work in the same way that Prot Warrior and Vengeance Demon Hunter does.
Like they're just on another level in terms of what they're actually mitigating. All right, well, there you go. Axe, thank you for joining me. It's looking like Prot Warrior is a really good pick here, 9.0.5, both from strength and from fun perspective.
I certainly hope so, and I'm grateful. I'm thankful for joining you too.
You're welcome. I was actually, just before we start recording, I was messaging you because I've started leveling up my Warrior as well. I think it looks quite fun. So yeah. It is, and Reprisal's easy to get. It's surprisingly easy to acquire. As soon as you unlock your Soul Forge, just go straight into I think it's not the ramparts, it's the upper reaches. Area 3 or above, and you for
can get
Reprisal.
It's much more easy to acquire than the wall is at the moment. Let's just say that.
I did have to race change though. My Warrior, for some reason, I'd race changed it to a Panda because I thought their animations were cool, and I literally, I think after one day, I put the Warrior down and didn't play it again since. I fucking hate it. So I had to race change it to Night Elf. So I think that'll be better. I think it looks kind of cool now.
I love Night Elves.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll leave you. And thanks everyone for watching as well. I hope you enjoyed the vid. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.